Theo was an ordinary trader in a fantasy world where demi-humans were treated as slaves. Unlike others, he treated them with respect and paid them fairly, which made other traders dislike him. One day, while loading goods onto his wagon, Theo was suddenly transported to another world. There, a group of hooded men celebrated, thinking they had summoned a hero to help defeat a demon army threatening their kingdom. The Pope explained that all summoned heroes start at level 1, but are given powerful abilities. However, when Theo's stats appeared, they were below average with no special abilities. Meanwhile, another hero was summoned with maxed out stats, and the crowd celebrated him. Theo felt like a disappointment and asked to be sent back home. The king instead exiled him to a distant forest, warning him not to return. On his journey, the lizard man escorting Theo was unfriendly, and Theo spent 20 days traveling in a wagon before reaching the forest. The lizard man warned Theo that the forest was home to powerful demon generals, then left him with some supplies, including a sword. When Theo was attacked by slimes, he tried to defend himself, but his sword broke. To his surprise, he gained a massive boost in his stats after defeating the slimes. Alex saw a mysterious voice then appeared, explaining that Theo now had strong magic abilities and could use the items in his bag. Theo discovered that the bag was cursed with a monster bait and a tracker, which explained why the king wanted him to die in the forest. Alexa removed the curse, and when Theo explored the forest, she warned him of a poisonous gas spread by demons. She offered to purify the forest, and after Theo agreed, the entire area was cleansed with a magical light. Meanwhile, back in the kingdom, the king assumed the other hero was responsible for the purification, but he soon learned it happened in the mysterious forest where Theo was sent. Now stronger, Theo didn't want to live alone. He used his new ability to shapeshift and planned to head back to the capital. After changing into a new identity and learning teleportation magic, he quickly returned to the city. While there, he visited the Adventurers Guild and registered as a low-ranked adventurer. He noticed a girl, Aloli, asking for help to get to the dangerous, mysterious forest, but no one agreed. Theo offered to take her for free using teleportation magic, shocking everyone. When he revealed he could teleport, he was accused of being suspicious, and the adventurers forced him to prove it. Theo teleported them to the forest, surprising everyone. However, the adventurers realized something was wrong with Aloli, who was acting strangely. It turned out that Aloli was actually a demon general named Fen, sent by the Demon King to spy on adventurers. Fen attacked the group with poisonous gas, weakening the others, but Theo remained unaffected. Theo saved the adventurers by teleporting them back to the capital and prepared to face Fen in a battle, using his new magical powers to defend himself. Fen, a powerful demon, rushes to attack Theo, but he quickly dodges using instant transmission and reappears behind her. Fen spins around, trying to slash him with her claws, but Theo blocks her with an earth wall. He follows up with a wind spell, throwing her into the air. Realizing Theo is not as weak as she thought, Fen teleports to avoid his next move, only for Theo to trap her with a gravity spell, pinning her to the ground. Shocked by the unfamiliar magic, Fen struggles but cannot escape. Theo wants to capture her but doesn't know how. Alexa, his guide, suggests using a slavery spell to control Fen, but Theo refuses as he opposes slavery. Despite Fen's attempts to escape using magic, Alexa keeps nullifying her spells. As Theo debates whether to use the slavery spell, Fen grows weaker, running out of magic and collapsing in defeat. She urges Theo to kill her, thinking there's no way for her to survive without magic. But Theo surprises her by releasing the gravity spell and refusing to kill her, explaining that he won't harm a defeated enemy, no matter if they're a demon. Fen, moved by his words, reverts to her human form, but she has no clothes. Theo, like a gentleman, covers her with his cloak and asks her to stop attacking humans without reason. While he searches his bag for clothes, Fen falls into a deep sleep due to exhaustion. Theo smiles, sets up a tent, and lights a fire. As the evening passes, he reflects on how people doubted his magic abilities. Later, Fen wakes up and thanks Theo, asking if he used healing magic to restore her mana. He assures her she's safe, and Fen expresses surprise that she's alive, vowing loyalty to him. Theo insists he doesn't need a servant, which saddens her. Fen, desperate to find meaning in her life, tries to harm herself, but Theo stops her, offering her a place by his side. Overjoyed, Fen pledges to stay with him. Theo then tells Fen about his past, how he was summoned to this world as a hero candidate but was abandoned by the king because he seemed weak. Banished to the forest, Theo was left with no way to return home. Fen reassures him, promising to follow him no matter what, despite the dangers and stress of being on the run. Theo, touched by her loyalty, accepts her pledge, and Fen embraces him happily. Meanwhile, in the kingdom, the hero returns from a battle against the demon army and reports heavy losses to the king. Frustrated, he blames the weak knights for fleeing at the sight of a demon. He claims they should be thankful for the survivors and storms out. The king, confused by the report, asks another knight what really happened. The knight tells a different story. The hero, despite his strength, was a coward and hid behind the knights, ordering them to cover his retreat when the battle grew intense. The king, overwhelmed, worries about the fate of his kingdom, while the hero angrily retreats to his chambers, frustrated with his inability to grow stronger despite his efforts. The next morning, Theo and Fen head to the city market, pretending to be husband and wife to avoid suspicion. They visit the Adventurers Guild where Fen registers, getting the same rank as Theo, which makes her happy. As they're choosing a quest, an emergency announcement is made about monsters approaching the city, signaling that the hero failed to stop them. The guild offers 10 times the usual pay for each monster slain. Theo, unsure of his strength, suggests avoiding the quest. Fen confidently urges him to go, saying he's stronger than her, and she plans to go alone if he won't. Reluctantly, Theo agrees, and they teleport to the forest, where they find an empty house set up by the guild as a base. They hear a scream and rush toward it, finding the same group of girls Theo saved earlier, surrounded by monsters again. Theo and Fen swiftly defeat the monsters, saving the girls, but a new one appears behind Fen. Instead of attacking, the monster begs for mercy, and Fen, amused, decides to keep it as a pet. Theo uses magic to transform it into a cute, small creature with a collar. Later, the girls introduce themselves as Bali, Archer, and Witch. They ask Theo to train them, as the hero refuses to fight after his defeat, leaving the kingdom vulnerable. Fen, initially jealous, agrees to let Theo help, as long as the girls stay at the house. Training begins, but it doesn't go well. Bali flees from a boar instead of attacking, and Muscle Mommy misses her strike. Fen and Theo watch in disbelief as the girls struggle. That evening, Theo prepares a proper meal with Bali's help, which everyone enjoys. Rise, skeptical of cooked food at first, ends up loving it after trying the steak. Theo notices how happy Rise is and reassures her that the food is delicious, making her feel proud of her improvement. The next day, Theo and Rise visit the capital to sell the boars they hunted. People are shocked at Theo's abilities, as he's considered a low-rank adventurer. Rise leaves for a personal errand, while Theo is approached by a knight, offering him a prestigious position as an honorary knight under the hero. Theo refuses, content with his current life. Later, Theo finds Rise beaten up but brushes it off, hiding that she had been attending cooking classes in secret to improve. Over the following month, the kingdom repeatedly asks Theo to join the fight against the demons, but he continues to refuse. Meanwhile, the girls' training progresses slowly. Muscle Mommy takes an interest in farming instead of fighting, and Witch receives a magic ring from Theo to boost her mana. Rise watches closely, especially when Witch tries to slip the ring on her finger, sparking Rise's jealousy. One afternoon, they are spied on by Chlllln, a servant of the Demon King. Rise quickly captures her, and after an interrogation, they learn she came to investigate the recent deaths of demons in the forest. Theo apologizes for using purification magic, which accidentally killed them, including Rise's brother, who was a general in the Demon King's army. Despite this, Rise reassures Theo that she loves him even more for his strength and kindness. Later, Chlllln challenges Theo to a duel, but is easily defeated. The next day, she returns with a dragon army for revenge. Theo, excited by the sight of dragons, effortlessly uses lightning magic to defeat them, shocking Chlllln. Muscle Mommy even earns the title of Dragon Slayer after Theo boosts her weapon to kill a fleeing dragon. As Chlllln flees in terror, the Demon King watches from afar, determined to deal with Theo and Rise personally.